Hello, Southridge. Today we are covering climate change in 5 different countries: Japan, Brazil, Canada, Guatemala, and Germany. First, we'll be cutting to Luke, who is there in Germany to experience this firsthand.
Hello, I'm here in Germany, and yesterday the German government introduced a cheaper railway fare at just 18 euros per month. In 2022, the German transit companies ran an experiment that introduced a €9 monthly fare for the months June through August. During this period, the German government compensated the transit companies for the lost revenue, and that totaled to around 2.5 billion euros. During that experiment, a 34% increase in train rides daily was seen, and 22% of all riders were now new or more frequent users of public transport. This new fare that they're importing is expected to have similar results, except Germany is now spending more money to improve accessibility and range of railway travel. This is expected to lower the extremely high private vehicle emissions from the German citizens. The lower train fare could inspire other countries with similar cultures to do the same. The German government's purpose is to mitigate its private vehicle emissions and lower its carbon emissions, as they're one of the largest emitters of carbon in the world. A possible challenge for the German government is that the transit companies will want extra money from consumers instead of being paid a flat rate from the German government. This looks like a great change for Germany and for them to be able to lower their emissions like this.
Thank you, Luke. I think that would be a great change. Now we're off to Guatemala, where Ezekiel is right now as we speak.
Guatemala has explored low-cost climate solutions that fit its agricultural economy, including biochar. Biochar is made by heating agricultural waste like corn stalks and coffee husks in a low-oxygen environment, which traps carbon instead of releasing it into the atmosphere. Because Guatemala produces large amounts of this waste, biochar is a practical option. It can store carbon in soil for hundreds of years while improving soil fertility and water holding capacity, which is important in a country facing drought and soil degradation. Locally, biochar can increase crop yields, reduce deforestation, and help farmers adapt to climate change. While Guatemala's use of biochar alone would not greatly reduce global emissions, the expansion could lower atmospheric carbon dioxide. The purpose of biochar is both mitigation and adaptation. A challenge is that farmers need training, equipment, and funding to use it effectively. Overall, biochar is an affordable climate solution that could benefit Guatemala's people and environment.
Thank you, Ezekiel. It sounds like Guatemala has a great plan to tackle climate change. Now we're off to Japan for raisins.
Heading to East Asia, Japan is emerging as a regional leader in carbon capture technology. Japan currently holds the third largest carbon capture capacity in all of the Asia Pacific. Recent reports showed that they are trying to promote carbon capture right now in an attempt to store CO2 in business sectors where CO2 emissions will most likely be unavoidable. Japan's carbon capture is becoming very helpful on the local scale in reducing emissions from fossil fuels in industrial sites or power plants. Globally, Japan's carbon capture technology is helping other countries by reducing industrial emissions and developing international CO2 storage systems. Many experts have said that carbon capture is a mitigation strategy. While it has been used before, there are still challenges that remain, including high cost and energy use. Japan is hoping at the moment that its carbon capture will help support its goal of reaching carbon being emitted and balanced out by 2050.
Thank you, Rayson. Now let's fly over to Canada to look at drone reforestation with Slim Jim.
Alright, this is Sam in Canada. After wildfires and deforestation, drone reforestation is becoming a new way to plant trees across Canada. Drones drop biodegradable seed pods filled with native tree seeds and nutrients, using GPS and mapping technology to place them where they're most likely to grow. This approach is especially helpful in remote or hard-to-reach areas, as it allows thousands of seeds to be planted in a single day. Locally, it helps communities recover after wildfires by restoring forests and wildlife habitat. Globally, it could play a role in reducing carbon dioxide and fighting climate change. Drone reforestation is both adaptation and mitigation strategy. Helping forests to recover from climate impacts while also capturing carbon. While the technology is already in use, challenges like seed shortages, survival rates, and regulations still remain.
Thank you, Slim Jim. Now let's head to Brazil to finish off the task.
Hello from Brazil. Today we are looking at how Brazil is becoming a leader in renewable energy, especially solar power. Brazil has long relied on renewable energy, with hydropower supplying much of the country's electricity. Now, solar energy is playing a bigger role. With its warm climate and long hours of sunlight, Brazil is an ideal location for solar panels. In recent years, solar farms have been built across the country, providing clean energy to homes and businesses. This shift helps reduce pollution, lowers gas emissions, which could contribute to the global fight against climate change. Experts say renewable energy also brings local benefits. Solar energy creates jobs, lowers electricity costs over time, and helps reduce air pollution. However, challenges remain, including high startup costs and the need for better infrastructure. Brazil's move toward solar energy shows how countries are natural resources responsibly while protecting the environment for future generations. Thank you. Back to the station.
And that concludes our coverage on climate change. Thank you for watching.